Hi, it's Cassie Hicks from Mod Marketing Spark. How are you today? This is day 2 in my 5 in 5 Facebook Live, talking about Facebook ads, and decided to grab the bull by the horns, and I'm covering the 5 most common questions about Facebook ads. Now it's interesting, I was training this morning at a workshop in Hemel, Social Media for Business workshop, and ads came up, and that was something that people were asked a lot about, and I'm often asked in my Facebook group, the Modern Marketing Club, about Facebook advertising. And today's topic, which is how much should you budget for Facebook ads, is a really difficult question to answer, and I was tempted to not cover it and just to think, you know what, that'll just be something I deal with as it comes up. And I thought, no, this is a hot topic. It is a question that comes up all the time around Facebook ads. I thought I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna cover it, and had a lot of people on the call yesterday, so it'd be great. Hopefully there'll be people on the call today with questions. So it was brilliant to have your questions and your interaction yesterday. So do let me know if you've got questions about Facebook ads, and particularly questions about budget. So let's jump into the meat. Oh, hi. Let me know who's on the call. Just say hello and type your name in the box so I can say hi to you. And do please ask any questions, because the more interactive this is, the more fun it is. And I know you guys have a lot of questions around Facebook ads. So today's topic is, what should I budget for Facebook ads? Now that is a really good question. So a couple of things I want to cover. First of all, there's quite a misconception with Facebook ads that you have to spend a lot of money to get Facebook ads to work. Well, that's not necessarily true. So there's lots of things. Hi, I can see lots of people joining the call. Hello. Just let me know. Hi, Angela. Let me know who's here. Type your name in the comments, and do please type any questions, because I'm here to answer your questions. So the misconception is that you need to spend a lot of money with Facebook. And actually on the training session this morning that I've just come back from, somebody said, oh, you know, it's possible to lose a lot of money with Facebook ads. Well, yeah, absolutely it is. Like any advertising platform, if you don't have a strategy and you don't really know what you're doing, yeah, you can throw a lot of money away. But what I love about Facebook is you can actually get started with Facebook ads with a really small amount of money. So when you say how much budget should I have, what I would say, if you came to me and said, I want you to run some Facebook ads for me, how much budget should I spend? The first thing I'm going to ask you is, what do you want to achieve with your Facebook ads? So you've got to look at the objective of your ads. And remember what we talked about yesterday, that your Facebook ad in itself is just one piece of that sales and marketing process. So the ad isn't the be all and end all. You can't just put an ad up on Facebook. It's not a magic pill and all of a sudden the sales are going to come flooding in. It's part of a process. You've got to keep that in mind. And think about, there's 3 different objectives when you're running Facebook ads. So first of all, you've got your building up your fan base, so building up your page likes. Now, it used to be something that people did a lot, and then it went out of fashion. Everyone said, don't waste money building up your fan base because your fans aren't going to come back to your page. But actually, I would say it is worth building up your fan base, particularly if you've got a new page or a new business and you're just getting started. If you've got less than, say, 500 or 1,000 fans on your page, I definitely would recommend that you advertise to get up to, 500 to 1,000 fans. And the reason is because you want to have enough fans on your page to start getting some traction and start getting some momentum. And getting those fans is relatively cheap. Now, I wouldn't spend any more than £100, say, or maybe even less, $100 to build the fan base up to that level. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can use all your targeting. The next type of ads, which actually are my favourite type of Facebook ads, are video view ads. So after you've run a Facebook Live, or if you're posting videos on your Facebook page, you can run ads called video view. So the objective of the ad is to get people to watch the video. Now you might think, okay, that sounds great. How's that going to sell my product? There's lots of clever things you can do, and I don't want to get too detailed in this, but what you can do is you can create audiences of people who've been to your page, who've engaged in your page in some way, and also people who've watched your videos. And you can say, I want people who've watched 30% or 10% or 50%. So you can really filter people down based on how much of the videos they've watched. And that's a really cheap way to build traffic. Now, I've got clients at the moment who they've got I'd say that it's quite a hard sell on social media. So what we're doing is a two-pronged approach where we start with the video views to build up an audience, and then you can market and remarket to that audience. Now, going back to the topic of what to spend and what to budget, video views are really cheap. Now, I'm talking 1p or even half a penny per view. So you don't have to be a maths genius to work out that you can get a lot of video views for a very small amount of money. So you really don't have to pump a lot of money in to get the video views high. You're literally looking at pennies for video views. And then the third category of ads on Facebook, which is a completely different kettle of fish, is conversions. Now, this is where things start to get a bit more complicated and a bit more expensive. So rather than just getting people to like your page, or rather than just getting people to watch your videos, with conversion, with your ad objective as conversions, you're getting people to take an action. So they might be signing up for a webinar, they might be opting into one of your lead magnets, one of your freebies, and this is where, or they might be signing up for an event, but you've got an action that people have to take, and that's called a conversion, because you're converting them. And this is where it can get expensive on Facebook. Now, looking at the flip side of Facebook ads, just before I talk any more about conversions, if I said to you, for every £1 you spend, you're going to get X number of, I'm talking in pounds, but if you do it, for every $1 you spend, you can get $3 to $5 back. Would you spend that dollar? If I could say to you, you know, we know the numbers now, and you're going to spend $1, but you're going to get $5 back for every $1 you spend, would you spend $1? Yeah, of course you would. If you knew you could get a return like that, you'd spend the money. And what happens is when people spend the $1 and they get $5 back, then they want to spend $100 or $500, or I know people who spend $10,000, $20,000 a month on Facebook ads because they're getting sometimes 3 to 5 to more times that back again. So I'm not going to talk so much about numbers today. I'm going to cover numbers later on this week, because you have to know what those numbers are. So you have to know, you've also got to have your system in place to know that if you're going to spend money and you're looking for conversion, so you want people to take an action, you want people to sign up for a webinar or download your freebie, or take an act, actually sign up and take an action for something, you've got to have your system and your offer in place that you're going to make that money on the back end. So you can generate a huge number of leads with Facebook advertising, but you've got to have a mechanism. You've got to be sending them to the right landing page, you've got to have the right offer, you've got to have all that nailed down before you start spending the money. And then you can test your system, and then you'll find out, okay, for every $1 I spend, I'm getting 3 back, or I'm getting 5 back. Or you might be in a situation, if various things are going wrong, or you've got a sticking point somewhere, that you're spending 10 and you're getting 2 back, and then you've got a problem. So it's all relative, but my advice to you, if you're new to Facebook ads, I know a lot of people I've spoken to are either just dipping their toe in the water, or they're trying Facebook ads for the first time, or about to try Facebook ads for the first time. My advice is to take a budget. So let's say, for example, I'm going to work in dollars, let's say $80. And what you're going to do, you're going to split that in half, and you're going to start with your first test, because it's really important you have to test everything in Facebook ads. So you're going to take your $80, it could be £80 if you're in the UK, and you're going to spend half on test A, and you're going to spend half on test B. And you're going to do nothing else other than run those 2 ads. Now, you run them for a couple of days, 2 to 3 days, don't touch anything, and then you're going to start to get a sense of whether the ads are working, are people going through that process. If your objective is conversions, you're going to see, am I getting any conversions? Because if you're spending $40 and you're not getting conversion, you've got a problem. You've got a problem with your funnel, with your system, or your offer's wrong. So, but for $80, you can test your 2 markets, you can see the numbers. So in an ideal world, you're going to spend your 40 and your 40. So you've got your 2 different tests that you're running with your Facebook ads, and you're going to see a certain percentage of people coming through. So you're going to see a certain number of people clicking on your links, and you're going to see a certain number of people converting and signing up or downloading your lead magnet, whatever it might be. And even with that small amount of money, you're going to start to see whether your Facebook marketing funnel is working, because that's really critical that you know that before you pump a lot of money in. And then B, you're going to see if you've got any sticking points. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the details, but sticking points might be that you're getting a lot of clicks to a certain page, but then they're not converting, or you might not be getting enough clicks. You might just not be getting people clicking through at all, in which case you need to look at your ads. So you might need to look at your ads, you might need to look at your targeting, might need to look at your message, might need to look at your landing page. And this is where, again, I always use the analogy of the Rubik's Cube. But I would say start with your $80, keep it really simple, start with a really low budget, and just start to get a feel for whether you've got your system in place that's going to work. It's also really important that you are selling something that you can measure that return on investment. Now, what most people tend to do is they do dip their toe in the water with their Facebook ads, which I think is a great idea. And ideally, you want to be dipping your toe in the water with lots of little categories. So if you market internationally, you might want to test America versus the UK, or you might want to test men versus women, or desktop versus mobile, or many of the other factors that you can test when you're running an ad campaign. And just put a little bit of money into each one, because the fantastic thing about Facebook ads, this is what I love about Facebook ads, is that you'll know within a couple of days, sometimes even within a day, but let's say within 24, 48 hours, you'll know what's working. And what you do when it's working, you put more money into the ad sets that are working, and if it's not working, switch them off. Simple as that. So I think the question of how much to budget for Facebook ads, if you're really serious about running Facebook ads, the way to work out your budget is, first of all, you've got to work out how much is it going to cost you for each conversion, if you're running conversion campaign. And once you know what that conversion, so let's say, for example, just using some random numbers, let's say you've got a webinar and you want people to sign up to your webinar. Now let's say it's going to cost $4 or $5 per webinar sign up, and let's say you want 100 people signing up for your webinar, then you've got to be prepared to spend $500. So 100 people, $5 a piece. So it's going to cost you $500, sort of £400, to get those 100 people on your webinar. Then you've got to make sure, if you're spending that money, that what you do on that webinar is going to get 3 to 5 times that spend back. So I hope that makes sense. Now, when you're using remarketing, retargeting, which is basically you're marketing to a warm audience rather than a cold audience, when you're marketing to a warm audience, those conversion costs are going to come down. So you might get conversions for $2 to $3 rather than $4 to $5. And actually that's half, isn't it? So if you're spending, let's say, $1,000 on Facebook ads, and you can build an audience and market to a warm audience, you can actually get twice as many, you can reach twice as many people and get twice as many conversions for the same budget. Aha! So this is where you need a little bit of thought and strategy behind your, oops, I'm trying to see the messages here, behind your ads. So what questions do you guys have about Facebook ads? So I think the short answer is, because this is quite a complex area, start small. If you haven't run ads before, don't put the whole bank into Facebook ads, and I'm sure you wouldn't anyway, but make sure you test, do the $80 test to start with, and be prepared to scale up, because as I say, if you're spending $1 and making $3 to $5 back, why wouldn't you spend more? Because you want to make more, don't you? And think carefully about your objective. Are you building your fan base? Are you promoting an event? Or most people want conversions, because if you're looking for leads and sales, then you've got to convert. That's part of sort of a very key part of the sales process, is that conversion. But I'm a big fan of video views, and you can get a lot of video views very, very cheaply. But it's a two-step process. So you'll need a budget for the video views, and then you'll need a separate budget for your remarketing sort of as the second step. So has that demystified the budget for Facebook ads a bit? And just want to let you know I'm streaming tomorrow. I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes that people make with their Facebook ads and how to avoid them. So that's going to be a really juicy topic tomorrow. I'm also running next week, I'm going to be running a Facebook ads bootcamp where I'm going to show you how to set up a high performing ad campaign in 5 days. So we're going to go through the copywriting, the finding the compelling, putting together compelling images, the targeting, finding the audiences, and then we're going to look at actually setting up the ad in the ad manager. So we're going to look at pixels and audiences and all that good stuff. So if that's something that's of interest, just type FAB in the comments below. So FAB stands for Facebook Ad Bootcamp. So I'm going to be running the bootcamp next week. It's going to be 5 days covering all the steps you need to get your high performing ad campaign up and running by next weekend. So we're going to start on Monday. By the following weekend you'll have your campaign up and running. And all of these things that we've talked about that I've had so many questions about, that's all going to be covered. So just type FAB in the comments and I'll send you some information. Oh, hi Heather. Heather's in, brilliant. Fab. I shall see you next week. Any questions? Heather, do you have any questions on Facebook ads, or how much you should be spending, or how to budget? Or have I totally bamboozled you? And any questions from anybody else? Because this session is for you guys to ask your questions. Any questions from anybody else? Question for you guys. Are you running Facebook ads? So who here on the call is running or watching the... did you know about 80% of your audience from your Facebook Live actually comes after the Facebook Live? Because when I first ran Facebook Live, I was really disappointed. I thought, oh, there's not many people actually live, you know, it's not working. And then I'd get loads. Some of my posts have had 7, 9, 10,000 views now, and but that's all after the actual live bit. So just a little tip if you're running Facebook Live. Oh, hi Tammy, thank you. Fabaruni, yay! We are going to get a Facebook ad campaign up and running by next weekend, which is really exciting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run that through GoToWebinar so I can share my screen and actually show you how you put your images together, how we find the audiences, how we put the do the targeting, how we set the ad manager up, all of that good stuff. So just type FAB in the comments and I'll get you the details of that. Okay, interesting. Some good questions here. Just see if I can scroll them back. I'm running an ad for an IRL workshop. Just started. Any recommendations? Yeah, I mean, ads work really well. What I found with, I don't know whether you're running this through Eventbrite or through a Facebook event. What I find is that a lot of people will RSVP to a Facebook event, but they don't actually come live. So you're better off using a conversion ad to get people, you know, to get people to register. So you're actually collecting people's email addresses. Don't rely on a Facebook ad. In my experience, the people that RSVP to a Facebook event is not a good indication of who's actually going to turn up. So I wouldn't pump a lot of money into advertising a Facebook event, or just put a very small budget into that. And Heather's asking, how much money, how would all this work for me? What we'd have to do, Heather, and this will be when we look at the Facebook ad bootcamp next week, we'll actually go through all of this, kind of a bit more time. I'm a handmade one-woman band business just starting out. Yeah, so if you've got a new Facebook page, you might want to build up your fan base first of all, and then look at conversion ads. Or you might want, it depends whether you're using videos, it depends where your audience are, depends what your objectives are. So sorry, it depends. But we can have a look at that. There'll be a Facebook group for the Facebook ad boot camp. So then we can actually, what I want to do is encourage you, if you're coming on the boot camp, to share your ads and share your targeting and things like that, so we can look at it, I can give you some feedback and you can get some direct input on your campaign. So I think that would be really, really helpful. Otherwise it's quite theoretical, isn't it, really? And the idea of doing these Facebook Lives this week is just to say, answer some key questions. And there's so much interest around Facebook ads. I wanted to try and demystify things a bit as well. Any last questions before we finish up for today? But thank you so much for joining. It's been brilliant to have you here. Thanks for all the questions. I'm really looking forward to the Facebook Ads Bootcamp next week. So I'll get information out to you on that very, very soon. And if you're not a member of my Modern Marketing Club, my Facebook group, do come and join me there, because I'll be talking a lot more about the bootcamp and ads and lots of other good stuff in the Modern Marketing Club. So I stream through my Facebook page, because from here I can then share the Facebook Live videos onto other groups. Whereas if you stream within a closed group, you then can't share it. But I do tend to spend my time actually in the Modern Marketing Club Facebook group. Great, okay, thanks so much then, guys. If you do have any other questions, you can still post them as a comment underneath the video even after we finished. Otherwise, I'll see you probably in the Modern Marketing Club. Take care, thanks guys, bye.